It's Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. More, hate less, read comics. It's Blake's Buzz Live.
Buzz, buzz, babies.
Hey, Buzz Buzz babies, happy Wednesday! Hope you bought some cool comics at the shops because retailers are awesome and they work hard, and you should support them. You should also support Kickstarters, which is what we're here to talk about. You should support comics however you can. Yeah, be good to each other and support comics. That's basically all I was going to say. We can just end the show now. I'm just joking. We got to do, y'all, hopefully everybody had a great day. I had a pretty good one. It'd be a lot better if I could actually play that new Switch I bought, but hey, it's okay. It's okay. Making comics is hard work. No one knows, but that's what we're here to talk about tonight. Before we bring out these awesome, talented guests, though, let's do some ad reads. Tonight's show is sponsored by Michael Gecko Adams, who has a new series, Hero, out from Keen Spot. To keep up with what he's got going on, and trust me, you want to keep up with what he's doing, head over to geckoadams.com and tell your shops to put Hero on your pull list. Issue 1 still available. Issue 2 drops in November, and you can have your shops order those, or you can get it from the Keen Spot shop, which is linked in the description. Which I always forget to say this. Every book we talk about tonight, unless it's on an unplanned rant, is linked in the show notes. So you can find like the Kickstarter links and stuff. It's all there. You just click it, go there, spend money. Why? Trust me, I just spent a lot of money, a little bit on myself. It's a lot. Amazon Affirm got a lot of it, but anyway, it makes you feel good spending money. So do it. Just get rid of it. It's gross. You don't want it. And the best thing you can buy with it, other than like food and drugs, is indie comics. Anyway, this is my 2 cents. Let's see. Before we kick things off tonight, I got to shout out Ruination, a brutal, character-driven fantasy epic full of political intrigue, betrayal, and jaw-dropping art. If you love morally gray heroes, worlds on the brink of collapse, and the kind of storytelling that keeps you flipping pages at 3 a.m., Ruination is the book for you. The new campaign is live on Kickstarter right now. Don't miss your chance to grab it. And this Bad Mammer Jammer is funded, which is awesome. Thank you, awesome backers out there. It is funded, and we are looking at stretch goals now. I got some cool stickers. I don't know what happened just inside of me there. The excitement, there's too much excitement for the sticker. But yeah, stretch goals. So check that out. Last but not least, speaking of epic comics, I pre-wrote this. Speaking of, let's try this again. Speaking of epic comics, they don't get more wild than Crossover Division, where fiction bleeds into reality and our heroes are forced to battle literary legends come to life. This time, they pissed off Cthulhu. Yeah, Cthulhu, tentacles and all. If you're ready for cosmic horror, clever storytelling, and a series that keeps raising the bar, get on over to Kickstarter now and back Crossover Division before the old gods swallow us all. Wow! That sounds awesome. Crossover Division needs some love. Sharing is caring and sharing is fun. Wait, sharing is caring and caring is fun. My 4th grade teacher used to say that. Another great saying that applies to indie comics. Let's do this. All right, let's bring out some cool people. First up, this is always hard. This is why I do this for Adam on the Prana channel for Comic Industry Insiders Live. I press their buttons. For my show, I have to talk and press the buttons. And that's why I stumble all over myself for the first few minutes of the show. But I guess per the ratings and critics, you all like this because you're sick and twisted and love to just watch me fumble. What's up, John Westoff? Good people. Part-Time Comics is amazing. Check them out. They always got cool comics on Kickstarter and doing all sorts of stuff. All right, let's do this. First up, we've got an extremely talented comic artist who worked on a comic. This is crazy. Small world that I read like way back in the day. That I loved because Nazis suck. Called Marguerite versus the Occupation. Now he's working on Heroes and Zeros. Let's get him out here, Mr. Kasey Quevedo. What's up, dude?
How's it going?
Hell yeah, man. chill out. Sorry, they get crazy over there. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
I was Googling for like and looking over the Kickstarter page and stuff and writing the intros, and yeah, like I read that. I mean, it came out a while ago. The campaign did, and I believe someone reached out to me. I think I got a press it was like a press email. And I was busy and like couldn't get the people on the show. But yeah, they sent me the book and I read it and it was dope. I told people to back the campaign. So I looked at that. I was like, oh, great. And I thought the art looked familiar. I was like, this is ringing a bell, like a bell I like, you know. I like your work, Kasey.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
How's your night? You doing good? You do?
I am doing good.
Oh yeah. They're making you do a lot of press. You got to do a lot of these shows.
I've done a couple. This is the second one, but it's good. I like talking comics, so.
Oh yeah. Well, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that tonight, and not talk comics. Because I'm very much as you probably noticed in my intro, like I can't even read ads directly. I can't even read through intros without we're already off the rails. I still got people in the green room we gotta bring out here. One of them's your co-creator. Like he's back there sweating. We gotta get him out here. All right. Next up, we got the founder of Acorn Comics, and he's a human being, not a squirrel, which is crazy. I'm sorry, that was a bad joke. He's also the writer of Heroes and Zeros, all around awesome dude and maker of indie comics. Let's get him out here, Mr. Paul Eza. What's up, Paul?
Hey, what's up, Blake? What's going on, Kasey?
God, I love having a soundboard. One day I'll put like burps and fart noises on it, and I'm gonna change the game.
Just as long as you don't feel like we need a laugh track or anything like that.
No, we don't do laugh tracks. We don't do.
No, good.
Yeah. I mean, what do you mean? I have a live studio audience. It's live. What are you trying to say, Paul? Speaking of, we have not talked hot dogs yet. I gotta get the people out. Yeah, we'll record. Cole, you and I, we'll bust out the mic. I know you don't use it as much lately. We could bust out the mic, and instead of talking books, we'll do hot dog slurps. Yes, we'll do these, and that's anyway. Hey, Paul, everybody's gonna leave before we talk comics, because we went from intro to hot dog slurping. We can't do that. I forgot. We gotta wait to talk hot dogs. We gotta wait.
That's all right. Yeah, you gotta ease people into that.
I gotta get excited, man. I love in case you don't know this about me, I love hot dogs. I don't know if you can tell. I'm a wide man and I love hot dogs. Anyway, another thing I love is indie comics and spooky shit. So let's bring out our third guest before I get even more off the rails. Hold on, where's he at? All right, here we go. Finally, we've got an indie writer who's no stranger to crowdfunding. He's written The Fog Within, Recon, and The Little One, and he's here to talk about his new book, Hospice, The Scaled Key. Let's get him out, Sean Wood! Kicking off Hospice again! Get excited!
Season 2.
What's up, dude? How you doing?
I'm good. I need some of your energy. I need to pull that over to me.
Dude, I needed it. I had to find, like, before I was like sitting here like working, and I was like, oh fuck, I gotta do a show, and then I was like, we gotta get juicy. We're throwing buzz out the window now. We're getting juicy.
Getting juicy. Nice.
You like indie comics? Get juiced. Anyway, the other day we were talking about Kickstarter stretch goals, and I was like, get stretched, and I was like, oh, that's not appropriate. That's not appropriate for Kickstarter marketing. Well, I guess depending on what kind of campaign you're running.
I've seen stuff on Kickstarter, man.
Yeah, they get nasty. It's good. They get good nasty. It's nice nasty. I mean, that's the thing. We don't kink or publishing shame here. If that's your thing, I will say none of you had any naughty covers out this time. Hospice has had a couple. Heroes and Zeros not really a place for it.
That's not really our target market for this one, but yeah, I understand they do really well on Kickstarter. So.
Sometimes you gotta. You can't rely on it though. It's a weird market, right? Because you can see something work for someone, and then you'll be like, yeah, I'll do that. And whether it's nudity or like, you know, hardcore or something, or cursing or trying to campaign stretch goal, or I'll do a t-shirt. I got a good t-shirt idea, right? It's just sometimes it's you see it work for everybody else and then you do it and it's just fucking crickets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yes, it works.
Yeah, if I could ever crack the code of what it is that gets people to pledge and to back, man, I'd be much happier.
well, I'll tell you one thing, having a Gail Simone pull quote and short, you know, so we're gonna kick this off. First off, this is what we're gonna do. Which one of you, between Paul and Kasey, all right, I'm gonna like throw one stick between you, right? No, but like which one of you is better at pitching the book, like at a con, or which one of you's got the lingo to pitch the book?
Yeah, you know, the truth is we've never actually been in the same place at the same time, so I don't know. I've never seen Kasey throw down his pitch.
Yeah, I just use his pitch and the art. But
all right, well, Paul, but before we dive into this crazy Gail Simone small world thing, it's not a small world. Well, it is a small world, but that's not really what I meant. He's got a Gail Simone pull quote and a Gail Simone short in his comic, and I want to know that backstory. But before that, tell us about this cool hero comic that is on Kickstarter, and it's a little bit different, and it's a lot of bit indie, and it's very human, which I dig about it. But hit us with that pitch, baby.
All right, so this is Heroes and Zeros. We're on issue 2 out of 3 for the initial arc. They're 46 pages of main story. Both of them now have a backup story that's coming. The first one you mentioned, Gail wrote. But the main story is the very short pitch is X-Men meets Scooby-Doo in the future. Humanity's continued to evolve. We're now in a world way in the future where most people have at least one enhanced ability. The ones who don't, if you kind of envision how society would change if most people had at least one superpower, you know, there's not really a need for, you know, heroes per se anymore. That just becomes the norm, and, you know, people start working jobs based on what they can do. So the people without a power, known as zeros, are sort of the outcasts. You know, what can they do better than somebody with an ability? So that's sort of the setup, the world we have, and we're following 3 roommates, 3 good friends that are zeros, and the most powerful person in the world is murdered, and they get approached by a friend who with an ability, who is a member of a kind of an underground resistance organization, and recruited to help clear the name of the man who's been falsely accused, solve the murder. And they get deeper and deeper into this, and, you know, very clearly way in over their heads, as they're trying to uncover a conspiracy behind this whole thing, while the powers that be fight desperately to keep the truth from getting out.
Yes, it's very, it reminds me, it's got the vibe, like the over the head vibe almost of like Japanese mecha stories, right? Because it's always kids that have to pilot these things who have like no idea like where their life's going, or like they don't even, you know, like they're just barely figuring stuff out. And this is a little bit older group of people, but, you know, it's funny that you call them like heroes and zeros, because they're not necessarily like they're not like losers, but they're not like top of the class people, right? Like they're right. Definitely not in the position to like solve this worldwide like international dilemma,
right? And to some extent, that's it's obviously a reference to how they're referred to in this world, and in the very first pages of the first issue, because I didn't know how to start this sort of thing with this kind of, you know, Marvel Comics, DC Comics have a built-in advantage that people already understand the world they're walking into to a large extent. And that's over a century of world building. So obviously it didn't start that way, but, you know, with the worlds we're creating in indie comics, we have to do that on our own. And because I didn't want that to be the entire focus of the first issue, I basically just did kind of an information dump in the form of one of our main characters, Allison, sort of filling you in on this is how the world is. And this is sort of the legends of the old heroes and how people with powers came to be, et cetera, et cetera. And she kind of goes into it and says, hey, so if you have one ability, you're referred to as an A1, you have two, you're an A2, so on and so forth. And obviously, if you have zero abilities, you're a zero. And of course, the title then gets into, who are actually the heroes in the story and who are the good guys and the bad guys going to turn out to be.
Yeah, there's a lot of great tension, and it's, on top of like I said, it looks and feels a little different from your typical superhero venture. And I really love that. And Kasey, that comes down to like your art and style. And I thought this back in when I first laid eyes on Marguerite too, right? Because you do action well, but your art has a softness, right? And I mean this is, and no offense, but you have like this really warm, nostalgic Saturday morning cartoon vibe to your art sometimes, right? But now I've seen you fight Nazis on the page, kill Nazis on the page. I've seen, and now you're doing superheroes. It's kind of interesting how your style, in a sense, juxtaposes the work you're doing in a very successful manner. Is this accidental? Like, or are you how have you landed on these projects and how are you utilizing your style like in these genres? I'm curious.
I kind of approach each project a little different, because I have some projects where I've gone like super cartoony, and this is kind of my middle ground, and I think experimenting with the cartoony stuff has really helped my more traditional style. I think that's kind of where we landed, because we played with a couple of different styles when we were coming up with the characters, and he definitely wanted to lean a little bit more into just kind of your traditional comic book style, and I think that's where we landed, and I think it ended up working pretty well. I purposely tried not to get too detailed. Of course, you show the page, it's got all the dark the heavy blacks, but I tried to leave things open a little more, so like you're saying, it's a little more vibrant, letting the colorist really shine through. Maya's done a really great job of kind of going over the things that I have.
I love your colorists. They're great.
But I also wanted to kind of be able to play with expressions. I didn't want to get too heavy into shadows on people's faces and on the bodies. I just kind of wanted to leave it nice and open, except for, just certain areas where you want contrast or you want to leave the reader's eye across the page. Like, then I would definitely lean into it. But I don't know. I had a lot of fun with it. I haven't done a lot of traditional superhero stuff, even though that's, where it initially started me kind of drawing. But like in my own personal projects, so they've been a little bit more, I'd say real world, but I had a sci-fi book that I was working on, so that wasn't necessarily that, but more grounded people, not overly muscled people. I don't draw every tendon on their muscles. I don't draw every vein, but it's still implied. Yeah, I like to have fun with it, and this has given me an opportunity to still get in the fix on doing superheroes. Because there's definitely little spots of action that happen, and so I get to play with that.
Awesome. What's some inspiration that you bring into like your art in general, or like this project specifically? Because like you mentioned, like you are trying to stray from the typical superheroing, right? You're very careful with the details you show and don't show. Like you mentioned, like veins and over shadow. You're not a hatch mark. You're not hatching on everything. No hate. I love a good hatch mark, but that's not your style. So like, what's out there, like, then or now that like gets you in the groove or like inspires you to like hit the page harder?
I think some of my favorite artists, and I wish I had more time to read so I could tell you more modern,
I
more
feel, I
modern.
feel that, dude.
But I mean, I always was a fan of a lot of the traditional stuff. Stuart Immonen is always amazing. His storytelling is just incredible, and he can definitely waffle between, you know, very rendered images, but also he can go back and just leave it super clean and open and simple figures and still get that same point across. And he kind of follows in that same school. I mean, obviously Adam Hughes. There's similarities, at least where Immonen began, to their styles, but I know Hughes usually focuses more on, you know, yep, a little bit more TNA for his covers and stuff like that, and he does it amazing. But if you ever actually look at how he does it, he can do it super clean. Like, it doesn't have to be overly detailed. If you see his heroes in costumes, again, you're not seeing like every ripple. He can still make it look like they look like a guy that's wearing a tight suit that's very muscular, but you have to see every crease. And so I think that's kind of the school that I ended up in, like that kind of feel to my work.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a big David Nakayama fan who's kind of got that. He does a lot of pinup, but like he now does a lot of standard Marvel and DC covers, but has that like what I said, like a softness to it, but still like, you know, like they not a lot of, he draws more women anyway, but yeah, not, it's more smooth, like everything's more like, you know, smooth. It has kind of a sheen to it. I don't know. It's an interesting, it's interesting style. And I totally see that with Hughes too. Cause even with the high detail, it's the same. It's got this, it's like what AI tries to steal. I'm having a hard time putting words, but you know, it's like, it's what it tries to mimic that can't, you know, well, other than like the human spirit, but you know, just like but it's got that, it looks human, but it's too perfect, like Adam's art, right? It's too perfect, and like the complexions are too perfect, and obviously because it's, anyway, it's like there's like a perfection to the skin and the shape and his lines and stuff. Yeah, just like your art, you're just like them. I'm sort of kidding, but I see where you're coming from. Like, and I see that here. I see a little bit of Darwin Cook in your like, if you had thicker lines, you'd really start rocking some like Cook and some Bruce Timm vibes. But no, I really dig your art. Like I said, it's so funny. I stumbled across you all those years ago and didn't realize it until now. Anyway, so Paul, how'd you find Kasey? How'd this team happen?
Completely by chance. So when I started doing this, I was writing the book in secret for reasons. And basically I got through the entire series before I started reaching out to people and worrying about getting art done and anything like that. And this was back when, you know, I was still on Twitter before it became whatever the fuck it is now. And, you know, a lot of artists would post portfolio day stuff. And so I figured, hey, that's a really good way for me to check some people out, see who might have a style that would fit what I'm looking for this. And Kasey was right at the top of my list. So I reached out to him. I said, hey, I got this project I'm working on. At first, it was just, I wanted to see some character designs, just kind of as a test to see if what he would envision for this kind of matched what I was envisioning. And also just to see, hey, do we work well together, at least in this limited basis? And it was flawless. Like the first, I think we got the characters that you see on the main cover for Heroes and Zeros 1, I think was basically the characters he sent me on the second round of the character design. And obviously you can tell, I mean, he's a fantastic guy and he's very easy to work with. And we just kind of went from there. You know, when I was ready to, I told you I was going to say nice things in public to you, Kasey. So like when we got to that point, I was like, okay, now it's time to actually, holy crap, I'm actually going to do this thing. I'm going to make a comic book. I was like, all right, let's get in on this. And we started talking about, pages and design and what do we want to do. We did a few of them kind of out of order at first because we were thinking we were going to like do a pitch. We weren't, Acorn Comics itself did not exist at that point. We were trying to think, okay, do we want to pitch this? Do we want to see if someone will pick it up? And I always had in the back of my mind that we might do it as a self-publish or as a Kickstarter or something like that. But so we did, I think, 10 different pages, from the beginning, from the middle, from the end, and then filled in the rest as we went. I can't hear you, Blake.
Because I'm muted. You have a larger first issue. It's like 40-ish pages, and the new issue is going to be just as long, right? You're keeping them oversized.
It's actually going to be a little bit longer, but that's a little bit a different story. So the reason we did the double issue, we can thank our editor Devin Arscott for that. Devin has been he's made so many great contributions to this.
And so many, he edits everything.
He does, and he's good at it. There's a reason for it.
Is he your editor, Sean? I didn't look.
No.
He might be. Is he? I don't know if he's on. I don't know if he's on any hospice books yet.
Nah, he's too busy with the Summit Comics thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's on Summit. Yeah.
Yep, editor in chief of Summit now. He's got big things coming. But
yeah, he
told me he'll still do issue 3, and I'm going to hold him to that. So
nice.
But anyway, so I was talking to him about it because I wasn't really sure how to structure it. I had written essentially 6 issues because I wanted to be a 6-issue series, but coming out of nowhere, nobody knew who I was. I had no audience whatsoever. And I kind of wanted to give a little bit more up front. So we were talking through some of the options, like, do we go with 6 issues? Do we go with just one OGN and do the whole thing at once? And he kind of suggested the middle ground and say, how about we do double size issues? Those seem to be doing pretty well. And so that's how we ended up breaking it up, was 3 46-page issues. And then we ended up with the 2-page backup story in the first one, because when you're printing, you have to do pages in multiples of 4. And I said, what else am I going to do with 2 extra pages? And so for this issue, we also have 46 pages of story, and the backup story will be 6 pages. Again, for reasons. But
yeah, some like, are you like the backup stories by Tom King?
No, we're no 9-panel grids.
Nice.
But the bonus story on this one is drawn by Agnes Garbowska.
Ooh,
so
party on.
And that's so that was essentially the reason we ended up going a little bit longer on it. Is she read the script for it, and she basically said, like, I love this, I want to do it, but I don't think I can do it justice in 2 pages. So he said, well, how about 6? Because we really wanted Agnes to do it. And she said, cool, let's do that.
Awesome. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at 4 extra pages, Agnes. Like, that's
no, who would?
Yeah, like who's gonna complain?
No.
Sean, you got any advice for, like, I mean, you've got a mini series out and a new one started, and now you're a part of this, like, you're part of like a team publication. I don't really know what to call these like Kickstarter event crossover things. I don't know if anyone knows what to call them, but
a full comic anthology is kind of what I've been describing it as, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I guess as they're coming out with their second issue. You got any like any war stories or how to get out of the trenches advice? I'll write it down too for myself.
Yeah, I'm still learning. That's actually one big reason why I'm part of Hospice, is to grow that audience from what I already have. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the email list now. I'm doing Substack, just my 3rd post. That's it. So I'm not great at Substack. Everyone's always talking about the email list. That's always the best way to get everybody. And yeah, I've just doing it for 3 years now. So I've built a little bit of an audience just from Kickstarter organically.
Man, you've done that many comics in 3 years?
Yeah. This is the sixth one.
Kudos, man. That's
He's been
nonstop.
busy.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. I'm trying to, the quicker I can do it, hopefully the bigger the audience can get, and keep with me, and, it's been interesting, but yeah, I'm all over the socials, but that's not the end all be all. But yeah, I'm still learning. The biggest thing that helped me with my audience, honestly, has been Reddit, which is weird. Because I actually have more talks with just regular guys on Reddit on random pages. And I just try to respond to everybody, and just I'm always there. If anyone wants to talk, then I'm willing to talk comics or my comics or whatever.
Dude, I try. I like Reddit for like shit I'm into, but anytime I try and post about any comics on Reddit, or if I've ever tried to do something for a client, like the post gets taken down. Dude, my posts get taken down. I started watching I got into like Pokemon last year, and like started watching the show again. I was like, man, this is like really good. And then I was like playing the old games, and like, I'm really stoked. I got the new Pokemon. I got to play it for like 30 minutes. But anyway, but I posted this picture of like, it was like me watching an episode of Pokemon, and it was like the Bye Bye Butterfree or whatever episode, and I legit fucking cried, and I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, it was so emotional. And so I like took a picture, and you could see like my Switch, and I was playing Pokemon on my Switch, watching Pokemon on the TV, and the mods fucking took it down because they were like, technically this is a screenshot and we don't allow screenshots on this channel. Wow. And it had like tons of likes and 90 comments, and everybody was just like, dude, that's so cool, you found this happy moment, oh, I love Pokemon too. And then it was like everybody, I was like, dude, Reddit's kind of cool. And then this mod was like, it's actually a screenshot, and I was like, what anyway. But yeah, anytime I try and post about comics, they're like, legit, one time on the Indie Comics channel, this guy was like, we really only let people post about like their indie comics on like Thursdays. And I was like, what is this? Like, is your channel only indie comics on Thursdays, but Big Two Monday through Friday? Anyway, fuck Reddit. No, sorry, bad advice, Sean. I bring you on the show and you just spit toxic bullshit advice. No.
Thanks for having me.
Follow Sean, everybody. No, so yeah, anyways, and I love it for like for tech shit and reading about new tech stuff and shit I can't afford. Right? Like food, like there's like a good like sous vide channel, like people like what temps to anyway. Nice. It's cool for a lot of things. But I've heard from other people that you can kind of do, you got to like use it though, right? Like you got to kind of, you have to like treat it like your new favorite social media network, kind of, and like really grind in it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on there like every week in like 4 or 5 different chats. Yeah. So I mean, honestly, with all my socials, I'm putting basically the same thing. Got to change it up a little bit for some of the socials, but trying to do the same thing over and over again all day. And then, adding it to Reddit too, and just changing it just slightly. And I mean, I get some looks, I get some feedback. It's always good to get feedback, because sometimes it's a void. You don't hear anything from anybody, and you're like, "Is this good?" I like it,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It is a mess, and I agree. And it's funny because like I've told clients this for over a year now, because it's ever since like Twitter started getting weird, because like for a hot second I made a little bit of money posting graphics I made on Twitter, right? Like, oh, this Kickstarter's live. I would post them every day, and I would post like I almost died because it was like, oh dude, I remember one time there was like five campaigns live at once, so I was like every day I was making like 5 graphics, posting them 5 times on like 5 different on all of my social. Anyways, but like it was like getting people to Kickstarter. Like people were seeing it. It sucked. I don't miss that. Yeah. Anyway, like that's how I got a job in comics though. So whatever. Being a little graphic machine. Anyway, so it's when that started messing up, everybody was like, the mailing list is the way. And then like Substack kind of came in around then. I have a Substack too. I've noticed I've noticed growth and benefits of weekly Substack posts where I'm like, hey, by the way, here was a link to last week's show, and here's a link to next week's show. I don't do that because it takes time and I get busy. You guys saw when I sent the links out for this show today. And I try, I try, and it's just, you get bogged down, and clients come first, right? You know, so they get all of me. You guys get a little bit, you guys get the crumbles that are left. But yeah, anyway, long story short, I say that a lot after talking for 18 minutes, but I tell people like, oh, the mailing list is so important. Guess what I have not done myself? Curate a fucking mailing list, and it would be great. It would be great still, like, just to hey, these are the campaigns I'm working on. Because by the way, like our sponsors, like Michael Adams pays for StreamYard. Like he believes in the show, and when I was unemployed, and he was like, dude, I know you need some, and so like he pays StreamYard fees because he's a fucking angel with the hand of, oh, he's such a good artist too. Anyway, but Ruination and Crossover Division, like I'm working on those campaigns, like I'm part of those teams. And so, like it'd be cool to, like, it helps to remind people like, hey, I'm working on these, and so, yeah, but it's a lot of work, and then you got to write it, and then you can't just write, you got to put fucking graphics in it, and then you got to put like a little, this is what I'm reading. Right. And then you got to kind of write like a sort of little review of something. And like, or like so you got to, like, it's a lot of work to do a simple newsletter. Right. Oh, yeah. I don't think people realize that. Paul, are you guys rocking one for
I got a newsletter, but man, I tell you, I really half-assed that.
I think we all do. That's the general consensus I'm getting.
And I do not do it well. Along with pretty much anything on social media, I'm just not good at it. But I'm persistent, so I'm hoping that's gonna.
Persistence is part of it. So you are good at it, because so many people, they'll post about it, no engagement or whatever, right? And then they'll try it again, maybe less engagement, and they're like, well, this doesn't work. But that isn't how you do it. You, like, persistence is key. Like, eventually something, it'll never be like the amount of likes you want, like, right? Like, I'd love, going viral would be great, but it's just that persistence is a huge part of social media. Is a huge part of Substack. It's a huge part of mailing lists, of growing your audience, right? You're not going to see growth every day. You're not going to get a handful of new followers every day. Like, they trickle in. You just like backers on a Kickstarter in the second and third weeks, right? But it's slow growth over time. And I think a lot of people abandon tactics and don't stick with it, or switch a platform when they should maybe stay on one a little longer and give it a little bit more love. It's hard. It's hard to play that game, especially, I think all you guys have, you're like weirdos with like families and kids and shit, right? Like, yeah. Like I just have dogs, and like that stresses me out. But that's why I do what I do. Like if I had like a family, I don't know. If I had a girlfriend, I'm pretty sure like life would be way different, because it'd be like, Blake, you can't just work all the time and sleep. You have to pay attention to me. And I'd be like, well, no, we have to make comics. But
so get you a girl who wants to make comics.
Yeah, right. Help me write these emails, babe. Proofread this copy. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah. So mailing list is really, it's important, and it's because it sounds like when I talk to people about it, because like, oh, well, it's easy to like come up with ideas, but again, like executing it, like trying a new recipe and then talking, but then you got to like talking about it, and like not food blog talk about it, but like we had burgers and this was cool. And then like, it reminded me of this comic. That tying shit together thematically, which I don't know if you guys saw the thumbnail for tonight, but that was a stretch. I was like, I don't really know. Sort of like the have and have nots. That's control and spooky identity. This guy wants his hand back to be human again. Anyway, we'll talk about that in just a second. We've ranted. We have not talked about Sean's new cool comic. Sean, you don't have, I guess I could really put Kasey on the spot and have him pitch your comic, but I don't know if that would go well. Sean,
Yep.
Hit us up with what hospice is and what your little piece of it is trying to do while I bring up your campaign page here and we scroll through this craziness, which is nearly funded, 120
Yep.
backers for.
Almost.
Oh, I forgot your campaign's almost over. This is the fun part of the campaign.
Oh, yeah.
This is the ooh, what's going to happen? Are you guys doing the after pledge backers? That's
Yeah.
not what
Late pledge. Oh, yeah.
late pledge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Late night pledge. Late nighters.
Yep. Especially since it's going to be part of season 2. So first, hospice, the big thing is Travis Gibbs started this, I think in 23, and basically got some really big names in indie comics together. They have these rising sun hospices around the world, and each creator had their own hospice that they had control over, and it themed around this and horror and demons. These hospices are controlled by demons in different ways, and you could do either a one-shot in this world, or you could do start a mini-series, which David Byrne is doing coming up soon. I think his second issue would be coming out. And he just gave this idea for season 2 that you can do pretty much anything you want in this world. And when he said miniseries, it kind of clicked, because that's what I've been trying to do. Is I first started with The Fog Within, and I have issues 1 through 4, the first arc. And then I just decided to do another series, Recon and the Little One. That's going to be a miniseries. And I thought this would be a great way and a cool character to do a third miniseries starting in the world of hospice with all these other great creators. And I'm going to do 3 issues of this all together. And the other 2 would be considered from the pages of hospice, basically. And it's really cool. The season 2 guys, I'm the first one to come out for season 2. Later, I think there'll be 1 more this year, and then the rest of them will come out next year. And we're each, helping each other out, sharing everything, talking about ideas, sharing pages, sharing, different things. All of the stretcher goals for all the backers on mine, and I think for everybody else's too, is going to be a book from each of us from season 2 first, just to showcase, hey, you get my book, you get to see an idea of what these other creators bring to the table. So back their book when it comes out as well, kind of thing. And my story is called The Scaled Key. The character is Alistair Redgrave. He is a generational demon hunter. When he was growing up, on that page, actually, it kind of showcases his father was teaching him how to take out the demons in hell when he was younger. Something goes wrong with the portal from hell to earth. It's starting to close. His father throws him through it to save him, and his arm gets cut off in the process. His body is kind of spliced with that final portal to hell. And when he's back on earth alone, he has to still try to figure out how to take out these demons. When he takes out his first one, he realizes that because he's connected to the portal and connected to hell and these demons, that these scales start to grow back that arm. And each scale is actually a demon that he has taken out, and now he has control over it. So basically, the elevator pitch for the book is it's Devil May Cry meets Hellboy with a Pokemon-like twist. So hence
nice.
The thing.
Just right after I was talking about how much I was into Pokemon right now.
It all comes together.
Hell yeah. I love this art. Who's your artist?
Rodrigo Cadraca. He is, when I found him, his art style reminds me a lot of Sean Gordon Murphy, and he's one of my favorite artists ever. And it's just crazy. He's also the colorist too, and he did the main cover as well. And I just love his art. So.
Oh yeah, dude, this looks dope. Yeah, when I saw this and when I saw hospice, I went to Travis's Facebook. I was like, and I looked and I was like, he doesn't have a camera. And I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, that's cool. You got to kick it off. That's got to feel good. How does a project like this work? Because in anthology they usually put a call out or something, right? So do y'all just send Travis pitches and his orange cone looks at them and sees who they want to bring on, and if you don't suck on social media in real life, if you're a good person, they just bring in
Yep. Yeah. So he had the call out back in, I think it was April, and when I saw it was season 2, that it was an idea. I didn't have this idea yet, and I was like, I have to be part of it. When I first started in comics, it was Travis Gibb was a huge part of that, with a lot of other indies as well. And one of my first books that I got, or one of many actually, would be his Hospice book. And actually, his artist from Hospice season 1 is my artist for Recon and the Little One. I stole him from that book. I got it, and I had to have him. So that's kind of funny too. But it was crazy to be a backer and saying this is a cool idea that all these creators are coming together. And I never thought at that point that I'd ever be able to do one, let alone doing other series as well. Like back then, I just thought I was gonna do The Fog Within, and that was my comic. That was it. And then now I just have all these ideas that I don't want to let go of, and I just can't stop because I'm addicted.
Yeah, I hear it's very, very addicting. That's what did the Hospice trade come out with season 1 yet?
Yeah. So season 1 trade came out I think it was last October.
Okay.
And that's actually part of this campaign too. So you can get the digital or the physical of the original trade as well.
Nice.
And then eventually, hopefully around next October, the trade will be coming out for season 2. So we'll be part of that as well. So whenever everybody fulfills all their campaigns next year, that's when the trade will come out for a campaign as well.
Do you see a benefit, like, if you were the one having to curate that? Like, I know Travis is big on like Discord, so I'm guessing there's like a Hospice Discord or like right. And then so you said I like the idea of like all being there and supporting each other and showing off new art, and like bouncing ideas around and like, what are we going to do? Like that's so cool. Is it marketing wise and like from making as a comic book creator and like making the book itself, like what's the, like, are you seeing a benefit there? You mentioned like everybody shares this stuff. So there's kind of like a community, so that like at least a post doesn't have nothing on it. Right. Like the team's there to kind of like and share. Are you seeing like a boost, not necessarily in morale, right? Because obviously it's a huge morale boost to not be alone and all that. But are you seeing benefits of like campaign wise, money wise, stuff like moving books?
Yeah. So I mean, backer wise, especially. So I mean, the main reason why I want to be part of Hospice, of course, the cool idea, and I want to have my name on it, but also I want to find a new audience. And honestly, I have over 50% is new backers on this one.
Sick. Hell yeah.
And a lot of it is because of updates from the trade or from Travis's updates from his Hospice book and other guys from the group. I'm in their newsletters. I'm in their updates as well. And, so I think that's been a huge part because I've never had that many new backers on one campaign. My biggest campaign was Recon. That was 200 backers. But before that, on the other 4, the highest was 119. I think I'm pretty much right there right now. So yeah, I mean, I definitely see a huge benefit to the backer count.
That's cool, dude.
Which, yeah, that's what you want. You want new people to see your stuff, and then hopefully they keep on seeing your new stuff after that and continue on with you.
Someone I'd heard like some people say like, cross promotion. And I'm not talking about like, cause some people do like the prints with like all the characters on a cool print or something, which is dope. Right. But like, I'm talking about like the Kickstarter update cross from it. Like, hey, I'll shout out your campaign and you shout out mine. And like, some people are like, well, it doesn't move the needle. And I see, and like even on like a big giant campaign, you may post an update and it gets like 5 hearts, right. On Kickstarter. But I still see that because like when I do it for whoever, and I'm sure some people have gotten the messages because I'll send like, I'll just like randomly pop in your DMs and be like, hey, we've got you in our latest update and like drop a link. Okay, bye. And it's, and I do that. And I guess I'll spoil my own sauce here, but like, so I do that, with no expectations, just with the thought and hope to like, hey, maybe they'll put us in theirs or a newsletter, or they tell somebody, or like, oh, like Blake's anyway, just the hope of like the community. But I do see an effort there, and it's like some people feel good about it, and like I steal copy from the page and kind of rewrite it, right? Like I'm not like a fucking wordsmith or anything, but like I do so much copywriting, but like I do a little bit of copy. I make sure you can click the picture, you can click the title, you can click the click here. Like there's several links that go to, so, I make sure that like people can get anyway, put a little bit of love and care into it. And I'm like, hey, we did this for you. And I do see a benefit. And even if it's not moving the needle, it's that communal aspect of Kickstarter, which is why we're all here, right? Yeah. If there wasn't a community aspect to Kickstarter, I wouldn't have a job. If there wasn't a community aspect to Kickstarter, you guys wouldn't have publications. This show would be different. It would be about hot dogs, which I wouldn't, that might be like we already, Cole already figured it out. I've been waiting on, the Get Juicy's a good hot dog slogan. It is, hot dog slurpings with Blake's. I don't know if that needs to be the title of the YouTube channel, but whatever. Anyway, but it's that the community aspect is super, super important. When people launch like new Kickstarter IPs or accounts and they haven't supported any campaigns, like a lot of people are like, that's weird. Is it a red flag? Not necessarily, but like, I think I think if you do launch a brand new Kickstarter account, you should go drop like a lot of little $1 pledges I think you should go drop some tips. That my tip to you is to drop some $1 tips on Kickstarter to fluff up your back account. If you can, $5 digital copies to your friends and stuff, but you just that number, you don't have to be a super backer, but I do think it's important to like show that you support the community a little financially when you can, so just stuff like that's things to think about, and that's cool that you have your own community of that, like involved in Kickstarter, but outside of Kickstarter simultaneously. That's pretty dope.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, when I started Kickstarter with my own book, of course, that was the same suggestion for everybody else's. Hey, you just got to start backing other books, but it didn't feel like you had to. It was, I want to, because I'm addicted to making my own, but I want to see what works for everybody else too, and how I can make mine better by looking at what they've done and what I like about theirs. So now I think I'm at like 116. I mean, it's in 3 years, but I mean, I can't stop that either. Sometimes it's hard because, money doesn't grow off trees. Yeah. But like you said, nobody wants money. That's gross. Just
get rid of it. Yeah. There was a time when like, dude, I was dropping like $350 a month on Kickstarter. It was fucking nuts. It was nuts. And anyway, I love you guys, but Blakey can't play that game. Yeah. That was in like the call center days and like COVID, and like I couldn't, it was just like all you had was retail therapy, and it was just like I got to super back real fucking quick. I was like, yeah, the community, man. Anyway, but it is important, and yeah, like you don't have to go broke. You don't have to spend $350 a month on it, right? But like showing some support, and the tips do help. Like they help the. Travis Gibb again has talked about this a lot. The tips help the algorithm. Like if you're tight and you can't afford a $5 pledge, or if all your friends are live right now and you like, I can't back like 6 different campaigns, you could put $1 on each one and it's $6, but it boosts it. It helps Kickstarter. Like it all goes into the algorithm of engagement on the campaign, and it helps Kickstarter, like what it shows on the homepage and all that shit. So anyway,
plus if you have followers, I mean, the longer you're on Kickstarter, the more you're going to get followers of your own. Yeah, and you do even the $1, they don't know how much you spent, and then they see it, and then they might want to back it because all of a sudden they see that one that they never would have seen in the first place. So
exactly, and the $1 backers get the emails. So like if they put $1 on it, but then say you do like a mid-campaign cover drop or a print drop or something cool and then they see, oh shit, I want that. So there's all sorts of little games you can play it's hard, and you got to kind of think outside the box sometimes. But again, that's why these mailing lists are important, because when you can communicate with people via email and it doesn't have the Kickstarter tag on it, because that is the problem when you are on the campaign a lot. As a creator, as a backer, you lose those emails, or you're flooded with them. Yeah. And that's why BackerKit Live has success, because those emails show up differently than a Kickstarter. Anyway, that's a whole different topic that we shouldn't bring up like at the end of the hour. Paul, I want to get back to you because we mentioned this earlier, and this was totally strategically and not me getting sidetracked and forgetting. But I want to know how the Gail Simone thing happened, how you got the Gail Simone short. I love the bunny short. It's so good. It's so heartwarming and pure. And it's like, when it reminded me of like Jon Snow when he meets the redhead and he's like, I'm scared of this little thing, but she's little, she's a bigger bunny, which I thought was funny. That rhymed. But anyway, I loved it. But so how'd you meet? How'd you get into contact with Gail? She pull quoted you. She's your work. Like this thing happened. How did this happen?
So, right. And so I'm going to try really hard not to sound like an asshole here. But so mostly it's because of my wife, who has been in and around comics since she was 16. So I'm not going to tell you how many years that is, but many. And she started off as like helping run MegaCon when it was still a family-owned show back, like way back when, before they even moved into the convention center in Orlando. And so over time, she got to know damn near everybody in comics. And you know, when I met her and started dating and started getting married and things like that, I got to know damn near everybody in comics because of her. And, you know, and then when Fan Expo bought MegaCon, she ended up working for Fan Expo and met a whole bunch of new people. And then just a couple of years ago, she switched over to the creator representation side, and she's working over at Comic Sketch Art as her side gig. She's, of course, her day job. She's a stroke neurologist.
Oh wow!
So this is just what she does for fun. is work conventions.
That's cool.
But yeah, so like, and it was cool for me because a lot of these people I got to know. You know, and I've told the story, like I grew up reading comics, but I was not the kid who's like, I cannot tell you who wrote or drew this issue. Like I just knew I loved Superman or I loved whatever I was reading at the time. Like it was a cool story and I really liked it. I just never really connected the people. So when I got to meet these people as an adult, it wasn't like, holy crap, I'm meeting my childhood hero. It was just, I'm meeting my wife's friend. So it was a much more easy connection. Okay. Like they weren't kind of on guard with me thinking like, oh, he's going to fanboy out at me. I need to keep Walt. So I got to be friends with a lot of creators. And that was part of what inspired me to start writing in the first place. Writing comics in the first place was just constantly being around all these folks. And Gail is one of those people that Constance is known for, I don't know how long, but who I've now known for a long time through that. And so when we were thinking about doing it, you know, I did not want to take advantage of my friends doing this thing because this is what they do for a living. They're very accomplished at what they do. And, you know, I'm very proud of what I've done, but you can't say I'm accomplished. That's not at this stage, that's not where I'm at. So I didn't want to come up like, hey, I wrote a thing. Will you please draw it? Mr. Eisner Award winner. Like, so like, I didn't want to go that route, but once we were done and once I knew that we'd put together something that we could be proud of and that I was confident was actually a good story and a good comic, that's where I was a little more comfortable saying, hey, you know, we're doing this thing. It's together. We're doing it on Kickstarter. Would you mind? Would you be willing to chip in on something? And that's, you know, issue 1, we had a variant cover by Tom Rainey. And so I was perfectly comfortable asking Tom, hey, could you do this?
I knew you were connected. So I was like, man, this dude, like he's network. I was like, he's in like, that makes sense.
Same thing. And it was the same thing with Gail. And like, and this is where I'll go off a little bit. Cause she very graciously said, of course I'll write that for you. That's wonderful. And like you said, I don't think anybody could write a more compelling 2-page bunny story than what Gail ended up writing there.
So good. Oh my God.
But you know, I will say that like, cause you've noticed there've been a few pros giving us shout outs for this, they've all seen it, and I don't think anyone would be shouting it out if they didn't actually think it was good. Like, I'm not that close with them. Like, I love them. They're wonderful people, and I'll go hang out with them anytime. But I don't think they're putting their professional reputation on the line for me if they don't believe in it too. So
yeah.
So I will say that much, and that's so we've had.
It's a good book. I read it.
Thank you.
And the issue, I like I thought the issue 2 preview you guys sent was good. I thought your press, I appreciated the press kit and stuff. You guys, it was cool. Yeah, it's and Kasey, back to just my fan of your arting. That's not. I don't know why I said that. I say stupid shit. I don't know why people come to my show. But I really kind of seeing changes in your art in the new issue, like, little like I mentioned, like a little bit of that softness is there, but going away a little bit too. I'm seeing you play around and your colorist too. The pages look like still the same vibe, but I got like with a sharper edge. Maybe, is that a good way? I don't know. I thought the new pages look great, and the pull quotes are justified. Y'all should check it out. Even though Paul has way cooler friends than I do, and that's fine. That's fine. Good for you, Paul. Well, Taylor Ann's in the chat, by the way, shouting you out, Paul, saying like good on you for crediting her, saying it's the cutest story ever. So
she is easily the brains and the beauty of this marriage. I am just riding in gloriously on her coattails.
Yeah, we support coattail riding here at Blake's Buzz. I'm not above it. I'm not above it or below it. I'm just right at arm's length, grabbing onto. Okay. Guys, I've kept you for a little over an hour now, and it was great chatting with you. I've known not you, Kasey. You're a stranger. Well, you're not a stranger. I've known your art for years and just didn't know it. But I've known, like talk to Paul and Sean online quite a bit over the years now. Right, I guess. Right, shit. We're all getting old, guys. Damn. I got what is it? I got 5 days left in my 30s.
Hey,
oh god damn,
club, man.
Dude, I'm feeling weird. I'm feeling weird. Anyway,
other than my back, everything has been much better in my 40s.
Yeah. What about your neck and your like the song? Anyway, I think the next Blake's Buzz, I will be 40.
Ooh, congratulations. Wow. Happy birthday.
Yeah. Thanks. Anyway, let's thank you. Appreciate you, Taylor Ann. But I want to go around and make, we talked about mailing lists, websites, social medias and stuff. I want to go around and make sure everybody knows where to follow you, keep track of what you guys are doing. Like I mentioned, there's links in the description for the campaigns, so you guys can find the campaigns easy, but I want to make sure you all know where to follow them. So Sean, let's start with you, bud. Where's the best place to keep track of you?
Yep. So of course, the last 2 days, Hospice the Scaled Key on Kickstarter. Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern is when that ends. But all the socials, I'm pretty much on all of them. X, Blue Sky, on Facebook, sort of on TikTok, not really. I'm just there. And then Reddit and pretty much everything called Sean Wood _writer. And if you find me, message me. Willing to talk about comics in general or my comics as well. So.
Oh yeah, follow Sean. He's good people, great writer. I dig the books you're putting out. Stoked to see. I've thought this hospice project has been cool since it announced. It's got great people behind it. Great people who are on Kickstarter all the time. So these are like safe pledges. You're gonna get your books. They're gonna get shipped correctly. Printers are gonna get paid. Right. These are drama-free campaigns, and you're gonna get the product that you pay for in a timely manner. And it's gonna ship nicely, not bent in half. They ship in Gemini and all that good shit. So yeah, I'll like fully support anything Orange Cone does, and Sean, yeah, your stuff too. And I'm glad, like I said, glad you're a part of that team. Kasey, what about you, sir? Where do we find you or stalk you? Last 4 digits of your social, anything? I don't know.
Do you need a bank account number?
Yeah. Buying Donkey Kong on Switch tonight. Won't have time to play it, but we're gonna buy it from Kasey.
Best is probably Instagram, Kasey.Quevedo. If it's in there. I don't know if you have it on the listing for the show, but it's just the same spelling as my name, Kasey.Quevedo. That's where I predominantly post.
Nice. I'm having fun on Instagram lately. It's getting a little better. It's I don't scroll a lot. I find like if you don't scroll much, like the internet's a better place. But it also sucks. Like I miss a lot, right? Because I'm just like, it's just like a land of like dog videos and memes, and it's just like anyway. But yeah, I like Instagram's kind of. I'm having fun with it. I also because of Comics the Magazine, and I'm helping with their socials, and like everybody's all about Comics the Magazine right now, and so like I post a reel and everybody loves it. I'm like, oh, this is what it's like. We should do that on Blake's Buzz. Anyway, I don't post reels as much anymore because I'm fucking lazy, but that's fine. That's fine. Hold on. We got Paul. What's the cat's name?
This is Aurora.
Ooh.
She likes to hang out when I'm doing live streams. So
nice. I got Bruce. Bruce hangs out in the other room because he gets loud and bark. He's losing it. He's just my sister thinks he's got like dog anxiety. But he barks at everything. Anyway, so we hide him, and then I have like this marshmallow named Coco, who's never really barks, but she whines. Like she'll sit next to you, and if you like don't pet her enough, she'll be like, and it's like, really? Anyway, so anyway, I have to like Bruce is loud. Bruce will make himself known on a mic, so we have to hide him. Anyway. So Instagram for Kasey, and then Paul, what about you and Acorn Comics? Where we keeping track of what you're doing stuff?
All right, so we got Acorn Comics. I'm doing as cross as many platforms as I can justify. So Acorn Comics on Instagram, on Threads, on Facebook. And the title is still Acorn Comics on Blue Sky, but the handle is Easy A, like my last name, ESQ, like Esquire. Because when I started the account, I didn't know if I was going to use it for comics or like my day job. And
that's funny because I was like looking for you to tag you today on a post, and I was like, I thought he was on here, and that's what popped up, and I was like, that's not Acorn Comics.
That's Acorn Comics. That's me.
Yeah, I tried.
That's all right. That's all right.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
So, yep, but that's like I said, it's Acorn Comics on most places. If you search for Acorn Comics on Blue Sky, you'll probably find me. It's just a different handle because, like I say, I was indecisive.
Nice, awesome, yeah. Again, I really dig this book. First issue was great. Second issue, like I think you guys sent like 10 or 11 pages. It's looking good. I'm excited. And you said it's gonna be longer, something like 48 pages or something crazy.
So it's gonna be the 46-page main story still, and then we got the 6-page bonus story.
And you gotta add two because that fucking rule in fucking 4 pages.
That's right.
You'll mess up someone's day if you don't do that you'll mess up a lot of people's day. I know because I've done it. I've been the day fucker upper before on that, and you only do it one time though. You do it one time, and then you learn, and then you think you got it, and then you fuck up a hardcover order, and then you only fuck up that one time, and then you learn. You learn for hardcovers too. Anyway, somehow I still have a job in comics. It's interesting. No, I was told like I have a friend who works at a big publisher, like a Big 10 publisher, right, or so. And he was like, dude, he told me, he was like, dude, it happens here all the time. And except when it happens with them, they had to shred a pallet. They got a whole pallet of books that had a mistake, and they had to toss every single one and put another order in. And I was like, fuck me, And so anyway, mistakes happen in all sorts of things, including comic production. They were on the other podcast. They were talking about it the other night, and it was like, the hard thing about comics is like, you have to do everything perfectly in a really short amount of time by yourself. And it's like, no one really realizes, even when you're on a team, it's just like even when you're like a part of something, everybody still has a lot of jobs and a lot of things, and everything has to be perfect because it gets printed on real paper. And when that happens, it's there and you can't change it, so comics. Anyways, yeah, I love it though. I do love it. But yeah, it's a lot of people don't realize, my mother is one of them, how stressful and real comics are. It's a job. It's cool as fuck, but it's work and it's crazy. And I commend all you guys for doing it. You know, and doing it on the side with the day job, and you know, chasing dreams, and you know, raising families and doing everything on top of it, because it's so much work. And you guys are doing awesome. You guys are doing awesome at it. I hope you keep doing it. And unless I know I will keep talking. I'm a wind up toy that never runs out of batteries. And so unless anybody has anything else to say, I'll play the music and set you guys free. Did we miss anything, or any other shout outs or anything?
Go back hospice. It's coming in the last 2 days, man.
Yeah,
It's awesome. I checked it out.
Be part of that 48-hour wave of intensity that Kickstarter veterans live for.
Very stressful time for the creator too.
Right? Yeah, like
staring at it at all times.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, it's a cool world this Kickstarter plays, and we'll be back next week to talk about more campaigns. I don't really know who's going to be there yet. I think Will Allred's coming, and Nandor Fox Schaefer, and maybe someone else. I don't know. I do this shit week by week, and I need to not do that. I really need to not do that because it's stressful. But when I plan stuff, I forget. It's like people hit me, they're like, "Can I come on in December?" I'm like, "Yeah, hit me up in December. Don't ask me now." Anyway, I understand. It's just not. I'm just silly. I'm a silly guy, and we gotta end this. We gotta end this stream. We gotta get out of here. I got a Nintendo Switch to play. I actually have a podcast episode that I have to. Forgot about that. I forgot I have to edit a podcast. Fuck! Damn it! All right. Anyway. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out in the chat and asking questions. Sean, Paul, Kasey, it was so good to have you guys on the show for the first time. Kasey, awesome to meet you. Totally hit me up. Future projects. Love to have you guys back on, and best of luck the rest of the campaign. Sean, best of luck with Hospice, dude. Like, again, season 2 sounds awesome. Go forth and support indie comics. Love more, hate less, read books, baby. We'll be back next week. End.